grey light outside and there was no smell of coffee. I went out, saw the big shed door ajar. I pushed it open. And in that second, our house vanished. I stood, feet in the grass and nothing but blackness behind me. There was a breeze. It's funny how air's just there. You don't notice it. Looking at you, I could feel it touching my face, the pressure of it on my skin, the tickle as it lifted a hair off my cheek, as it shifted ever so slightly, making the rope creak. The back door slammed and the sound sent a familiar shock up my spine. Or it would have if I'd been standing in my body rather than slightly to the left. The alarm chick, chick, chick of a blackbird exploded in my ears, too loud and too sharp. I could hear the grass growing. My ears have always been sensitive to you leaving. Each time you'd go, noises muffled and sharpened and silence got loud. I'd stand still trying not to breathe, waiting for the door to open and for you to come back through it. The silence you left after you grabbed your keys from the bowl on the table and slammed out the door would stand like a person beside me. The bang made me jump every time, even though I knew it was coming. Knew from the second your eyes lost focus and tightened, and you stopped seeing me and saw only this thing ruining your life. You'd shout, grab those keys and stalk to the door and bang. And I would jump. I cried when I was little, but you'd come back. My nose would squish into your shoulder, your arms around me and the warm smell of you in my whole head. The knot in my tummy would loosen and melt with the tingle that ran up my neck into my skull as you stroked my hair and made my eyes close. It almost made the before worth it. You just got angry. It just was. Like the weekends you'd get sad and stay in bed. And I stopped hiding under the doona, stopped crying about it. The shock of the door would go through my spine, but I'd stay where I was. I'd be still, and Splints would sit on my feet and we'd wait, my heart racing. Sometimes he'd be back before we moved, my toes warm under his bum even as my legs went numb from the standing. Other times you wouldn't, and Splinter would move, or I would. I'd do my homework, or clean up, or fix whatever it was that made you snatch up the keys this time. Sometimes I'd flip through the fat blue dictionary looking for the right word for it. The feeling inside. Agitated was almost right, but it didn't quite fit. It matched the chill of the tiny bubbles popping in my chest, but not the stillness. Aimless felt close. Floaty. I floated, but I always had something to do. When it was summer, we'd go outside and I'd cut the grass, or weed the veggie patch you liked in theory. And sometimes we'd just lie in the sun, Splinter's big head on my lap, and I'd watch the swirling red behind my eyelids. I guess I was ambivalent. But that wasn't right either because it hurt, you being gone. I never did find the right word. Then you'd come back. You'd pull me into your chest and squash my nose into your shoulder and everything would be okay. I was used to that. Used to the nipping worry of not having you here. Used to the little voice that said maybe this time was different, but knowing it wasn't. Knowing you'd always come back. Now I don't know what to do. But I suppose you're not really gone. Not properly. Not if I know where you are. That morning, I closed the door to the shed and opened the back door and went inside. I walked through rooms that were all surface, my knees bending at the wrong time, each step ending in my hips as the floor happened too soon. I climbed under my doona. My breath was warm under there and slow like the ocean. After a while, the room was close to dark and Splint's big head rested on my leg, the weight of him making my toes tingle. Sometimes he'd lick his nose and sigh. I stayed where I was,